Hello, hello. SPL season is finally upon us, and so we're back with more actual Pokemon battles. Hell yeah. So this is a week one game between Soulwind and Cow. Soulwind needs no introduction, right? He's been playing this game for, what, 15 years at this point, and he's always been a top dog. And so, it's just, yeah, if you've played Pokemon, you know who this guy is. Cow is a newer player. He's been mostly active in Black and White and SV, and especially in SVOU. He's been doing well in tournaments there, but Black and White is his home turf, let's say. And this is a very interesting game because it's like the new guard versus the old Black and White guard, right? And so we'll see if which one is better. Well, we won't because it's best of one Pokemon, so never mind. Right, so let's see. First the matchup. Okay, so what we have here is a pretty not that standard rain team from Soulwind. Landoros is not something you see often in rain, and for Cow, this is a pretty standard Sun team. You have your Spikes, your Akazam, your Landorus, Latios, the usual. There's a Heatran here, which unfortunately might be the worst game ever to bring Heatran in, unless you're a certain set that it's not very good, which is Magma Storm Sunny Day. Even then, you need to outplay your opponent to actually do things with it, and it's not that obvious. You can still get outplayed as well, of course. And on top of that, there's a Landorus in Rain, which is kind of annoying for. Well, Landorus is annoying for Sun in general, but this is doubly annoying because suddenly you're against a Rain team, and instead of, say, a Thundurus, which, it's kind of a not great mon, I personally think. Or rather, it's great, but you can beat it somewhat easily. Landorus is a bit tougher overall. And still, we have an Alakazam on this side, which could go nuclear here because it outspeeds 5 of Soulwind Pokemon and one hit KOs all of them, I believe. But obviously, it could be outplayed, right? So you go Ferrothorn, Psychic, then Politoed on HP Fire, and then the Alakazam will want to switch out. If your Scarfer is Landorus, you always have Uter free. And if it's not Landorus, then it's maybe Keldeo. And Scarf Keldeo is pretty strong in this matchup because the only serious water resist is Ferrothorn, who will probably die to spikes eventually. Like in the long run, I give Soul in the edge if it's Scarf Keldeo. If it's Carlando as well, it's probably better for Soulwind. The only weak, the only way this matchup is a bit less skewed in Soulwind's favor is if Latios is the Scarfer, because there's Titar, so. But I don't think it is because it would lack a lot of, like, how do I say it? Like Scarf Latios is a bit on the weaker side, and when you have Keldeo or Lando like this, it's, yeah. I think you'd rather have either of those Scarf. But yeah, let's see. Leads. I believe you just lead with Ferro if you're Cow. Do you? Because there's a Keldeo here, right? Keldeo is kind of broken into this. I guess you have to lead Ferrothorn anyway, right? And for Soulwind, you probably lead. I believe you lead Landorus here. I will lead Lando, and I will probably lead Ferro here. Yeah, I can see the argument for leading Landorus as well. Uh, but I think Landorus is too dangerous. Like, it's very risky to lead Landorus here, I think. There's a Keldeo, there's Politoed might be Scarf as well, like, just in case. There's I mean, it's not the worst. I think you lead. I lead Ferro and lead Lando here. Right, let's see. So we have Latios lead, okay, and Landorus. Latios, basically you're hoping to load into Keldeo lead, right? And then, yeah. But I mean, you have to play the guessing game anyway, because if you lead Ferro and your opponent leads Keldeo, then you have to switch out and even guess even harder, so I can see why Latios. I just think that when the matchup is a bit tough, like in this case, you'd rather try the soul read on this lead spot. And so, yeah. All right. Hitran, very nice Zam. Oh, and Keldeo. Right. Without rain up, Keldeo doesn't kill Zam, so you can just attack here, and that's exactly what happens. Psychic eject button. All right, that's something you don't see often. So it's eject button Ferrothorn to get Lando in. Right, so we've seen that Keldeo has no leftovers, and we see now hard Lando in here. So unless Soulwind is mega bluffing, this is Scarf Landos, right? And then Specs Keldeo, or maybe in uh, I don't know, maybe something like Mystic Water. Anyway, not Scarf. And this guy will be the Scarfer, and so Latios is probably Specs or Colburberry. I don't think it's Specs, because I'd rather... I would expect Keldeo to be Specs here, and then double Specs. I mean, powerful, yes, but do you need it? I mean, it's a... Latios can trick away the Specs, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, Lando comes in. I think Kao just goes Lando here. If you get rid, whatever. Lando is not that important in this matchup. Alright. Is this also Scarf? Oh, of course. That did not that much damage. This is a kind of bulky Landos. Okay, Ferro. Did... Oh, yeah, I spin 23. Alright, spin, sure. And knock. Alright, so I've seen people say, wow, why didn't Cow just get rocks up again? Well, yes, probably. But this is fine. He still has a Ferrothorn. You can switch it out. Which you should do. Yeah, into Latios. And now we see that this is not Specs, because that did way too little. Back into Ferro, sure, good play. Right, this was a nice play by Cal. So yeah, he kind of let Starmie spin for, well, not really for free. He traded Starmie for spin. That's fine, but now he can get Rocks back up, and that's fantastic, right? Because Rocks are very useful in this matchup. Rocks or Spikes? Rocks, 100%. Because Zam kills Keldeo anyway, and Ferro, so yeah. Oh, Gyro, and Ferro leaves, so you also get Spikes. It's very nice for Cow, and now I believe you go Zam here. I mean, yeah, what else? And you click Fire move. I mean, it has to be fire, right? Nobody goes Zam here and clicks Focus Blast, and no other move will kill Ferro, so this is a fire Zam. And sure enough, it reveals to be fire. And here's... Alright, so here's a bit of a tough turn for Cow. You absolutely need Alakazam alive, right? And Politoed is not leftovers, so it's either Specs, Scarf will be very weird, double Scarf, one of which is Landorus, like, I'm not convinced that's realistic. So you're looking either at a Specs Politoed or something like Chestorest, which I don't hate. Anyway, you just switch to your Latios, right? Well, I mean, it's your only water resist, and you assume this is not Scarf, so even if it clicks water move, you leave, and then that's fine. And then you fire off a Draco Meteor. And Latios, right, and there it is. Critical hit. And so Latios dies. This is very unfortunate, because Latios lived, obviously, even like modest specs. I think it does, what, 45-50%, I think. And then you have a free Draco, because nothing on Soulwind team can tank Draco Meteor. Even if, like, this is probably like Colbur, right, Latios? Because you need it to switch into, say, Keldin Sand and then not get Pursuit Trapped instantly. Because this team otherwise just dies to Keldeo. But still, everything is in Draco Meteor range. Polito dies, Pharaoh dies, Latios dies, Keldeo also dies, and then Landos also dies. But now you're in a terrible spot, and I'm not sure Lando is in the play. I think here you have to go Titar, and then just hope. You turn, yeah, but you lose Itran too here. Well, Itran was useless anyway, so yeah, this has to be. And now you go Zam, and just click Psychic, and Pharaoh dies. Okay. Bye. And here comes, well, of course, Landos, right? Because it's the Scarfer. Kawastos with Latios. Does Zam not kill this? Oh, it is Specs Latios. Okay, so it's double Specs. I mean, it's not Specs Kelda actually, right? So never mind. It might be Belt or Mystic Water, I think. Right, so here you go Zam and click Signal Beam. It is mega over, because you Signal Beam, or Psychic, sure. And then Lando comes out and you go to your own Lando, and then Someone just U-turns to Keldeo, and Keldeo will not die to Earthquake, and so this, I mean, unless you crit, so there's that option, I guess. So you need an Earthquake crit here, then you still probably lose, but no harm in trying, and then that's game. I have no problems with. I think this was played well from both sides. The crit probably killed any win chance for Cal. There's also the problem called Heatran, who was a non-factor at all, but that's just the matchup, right? And so it was Specs Latios and then some sort of non-choice to Keldeo. Because Secret Sword did too little to Latios, right? It did what, 31%? So that's just max special attack, but no boosting item. So I'm going to go with like something like, could be Belt, Lamberry, Calm Mind, or just Mystic Water. Yeah, I think it's just like HP Ghost, Calm Mind, I think, with Lamberry, because else Jellicent is a bit of a tough one. You have Specs Politos, Specs Latios, and yeah. But yeah, still well played from both. Unfortunate for Cow that this is SPL debut and it just stands like this, but you know what they say. Best of one, man. It's okay. On the long run, it evens out to a point, kind of, somewhat. Not really, but it's better than just one game. Unfortunately, the shit leakers will now be feasting on cows 0-1, but you know what? It's okay. Um, he will come back stronger next week. As for Soulwind, well, I think he's the guy with the best win rate on the sheet. If you also factor in how many games he has on there, he has over 100, right? Easily. So yeah, this is just another day at the office for him. If I mean, if you ask me a critique of these teams, I think it's mostly there's nothing inherently wrong with either of these teams. As every black and white team, they have their strengths and weaknesses. Maybe the Heat run here is a bit too. It makes the team a little bit too, not necessarily frail. Obviously, it's nice, right? It checks Volcarona, for example, which would otherwise completely annihilate this, and then it does have some offensive capabilities. And you also have balloons, so it's that you don't care too hard about spikes, but it's still a hit run. So as you can see, for example, here you're kind of in a bad spot into water into a team that spams a lot of water moves like this one with specs one, specs two, this guy and this guy, and there's also Scarflando just in case. But yeah, that's I mean, even then, it's easy to say, right? Oh, he loaded the heat run into this, and of course it lost. Yeah, well, I mean, if you load the heat run into, say, a Volk, Chloe, Cloister is banned, Conkeldur, Volcarona type of team, heat run will have put in a lot of work. So yeah, it's easy to say in inside. Um, and Soulwind does bring hyper offense a decent amount. So yeah, like you cannot rule it out. But yeah, well played off, and this was a pretty fun game. Anything else? Hmm, Double Specs is they're a very aggressive team. Scarflando, Specs, Toad, Specs, Latios, Starmie, Keldio, Ferro. And it was likely Scarf Rocks Lando, right? Because else you will definitely set Rocks early game with Ferro, right? No, you don't just R spikes here, right? Like you get Rocks up, right? Because yeah, spikes do more damage than rocks to say Ferrothorn, and obviously this team does love to kill Ferro because but the second spikes layer does less damage than resisted rocks. So I guess this is Scarf Roxando, and then this Ferro is just your usual rain one, which makes sense. You don't want to drop either Gyro Ball or Power Whip, even if you have a say Scarflando, because you really want Gyro Ball, as Dragonite is a bit of a tough guy to beat with this. And so yeah, I guess it's just Scarf Roxlando to free up the slot, Ferro slot. So you have Spikes, Gyro Whip, and I don't know what Thunder Wave maybe. It's eject button. Might have been explosion as well as the last move. So you go in, spike, get eject button, come back in, gyro once or twice, and then explode. That's fine. Anything else weird about the? Not really. I think that's pretty standard. So yeah. All right. Fun one. And see you next time.